Guys, Richard at Orange Campers, and you know the better weather's coming, you know spring's on its way, the clocks are going back soon. So what do you do to get ready for summer? Well, you need to think about your van. It may have been stood there all winter, you might not have used it. We use ours because they're a good size, you can use them daily. That always helps. But if you've not used it for a long time, what do you check for? So in this video, I'm going to tell you a few tips, what you should be looking for and what you should be checking on your van. I mean, starting on the outside, it's obvious to most people, not to everyone. So checking your tyres. They've been stood for a while, run round all your tyres, make sure they're inflated properly, make sure there's no cracks on the outside, what are excessive, tread's good. I did it myself last week. I forgot about the car, went in for a punch repair. Tyres were completely on the line, you know, so you've got to check your tyres and you've got to check the exterior, make sure nothing's hanging off, make sure nothing's got in there as well. Rodents over winter love to get in somewhere warm, it does happen, so check all your engine bay, things like that, make sure there's nothing what's made a nest over there, you know. Sounds crazy, but it does happen. So visual checks, open the bonnet, flush it out. Obviously start your vehicle, make sure it's running and check the oil and fluids and things like that. But then we go into the habitation. Steps are, if they're not used often, they need a good clean. When I always say to people, when you're using your step, especially big ones like this, you can stick a little bit with mud, give them a good clean down, give them a good dry out, get the hose pipe in there. Don't use WD-40 as you would think, because that stones, lots of bits of mud, grit sticks to WD-40 because it's more like a grease fluid. What you should really use is a silicone spray. So make sure it's fully dry, then loosen it all up with a nice silicone spray, and that keeps everything moisture. You can get carbon dust and things like that. There's a few things you can get, but you know, a can of silicone spray in your van is quite a handy thing to have. So steps, clean off, make sure they're in and out, make sure they're working fine, and a good clean is always advised on that. When you get inside your vehicle, you've got to think about the obvious things inside your vehicle. Water, what's not been used for a long time is your water system. So fill your tanks, check them, make sure they're not leaking, make sure all the taps are nice underneath, they've not corroded, because plastic, it does, you know, it wears, it corrodes, or your Jubilee clips haven't rusted up too far, things like that. If there is Jubilee clips on there, and make sure your waste outlets aren't clogged up, and like I say, put some water in there, run the system for quite a while as well. I'd give it a really good test, because like I say, you'll not find a leak until it's too late. You're on a campsite, nothing you can do about it. The best thing to do is to try and prevent that. So on your water system, flush it well, look for any weak spots, what you might see. If you see any joins, just check those. It's a good thing to run your hot and cold water system. Get it up to temperature, flush a full tank through, that's the best advice. Get rid of that stagnant water, give it a good clean. You can put sterilising tablets in there, or just give it a good flush. So water's a really important thing. And then you've got your battery levels, your leisure battery levels. Our batteries are under this seat, so get in there. Be careful if you're going in there, because live batteries, you have to know what you're doing with live batteries. It's very easy to get caught out. But all I'm saying, under there, don't get too involved if you're not au fait with how battery systems work. You can cause a lot of damage. But get in there and just make sure there's nothing sort of dropped in there. Make sure nothing's, you know, going to damage it once the vehicle starts moving again. But be careful in there and don't touch things you're not really sure of. But make sure everything's working. Make sure you've got a bag of fuses what fit your vehicle, things like that. Because once they start working again, you know, fuses go for no reason sometimes, and an old fuse may just be a bit loose, so it may just pop, and then you're stuck without a fuse. So make sure you've got a nice bag of fuses what relate to your vehicle, so you know where you are. And just get familiar with your system. Look at what fuse goes where. They should all be labelled, and then because the last thing you want to do is have a fuse go and you don't know what it's for, you can't find it, and you know, it just causes you self-distress. So just get familiar with your vehicle, get it ready for your first trip of the year, which we're all looking forward to. If it's going to be sunny this year, it really is a nice feeling. Clean out your oven, if you've got an oven or a gas grill, make sure it's all working, and fire it up. Everything you want to have on, fire up, make sure it's working. Now don't forget, if you have a habitation check, which is advised, this is all done for you. But if you're not going down that route, make sure you have you do all these procedures. And this is what we do on a habitation check. It gets a thorough inspection. We get it on the ramp, inspect underneath, make sure everything's working as it should, and then we put everything through its paces. We look for all the weak areas, what could be causing you issues, and we make sure everything's fit for use. Gas, you must have a gas check every year, that's my advice. Some companies, insurance companies, demand it of your insurance policy that you have a periodic gas inspection. Now, an LPG engineer, you can find them on the gas safe register, or any reputable conversion company or caravan dealership will be registered for LPG. You can also go on the LPG website or the gas safe website, and you can check for a local gas safe engineer in your area. So, and that is really important. Check your smoke alarms, your habitation area, and your carbon monoxide alarms are still in date, because they are dated for a reason. Batteries are still working, things like that. Give them a test, make sure they're working fine. Check your fire extinguishers as well, and make sure that's in date. If it's too old, replace it and get a new one. Little bits like that. You want to be safe in a van, and you want to feel safe in a van. Check your roof. If your van's been under a tree, it can cause chaos with silicons on the outside. Moss attacks silicon based products. Water sits on your roof, gets in there, and it gives you nothing but trouble. So make sure your roofs are nice and clean, and free from any leaks up there as well. Oh yeah, European, if you're lucky enough to go abroad, or you're planning an abroad trip, check out what that country needs. So you need Critter stickers or equivalent sort of clean air zone stickers. We've got one for France in one of the vans, but you need them for Germany, Austria, I believe, things like that. So check whatever country you're going to, make sure you got the correct clean air zone sticker for your vehicle, otherwise you could end up getting a fine. You need your accessories like your warning triangle, your high-vis vests have got to be in the front of the vehicle, which are accessible for each passenger getting out of the vehicle. So check up on the rules on that. There's lots of information out there. If it's your first time in European travel, then there's lots of information to help you along the way. But my advice, get a habitation check and put your mind at rest. Let the professionals do what they do best. Check it out for you, make sure it's safe. That way you're guaranteed to enjoy your first trip this year, or first holiday this year in the sunshine without any problems. So if you like what you see, you can always book in a habitation check with us, or book a workshop tour.